Hi and welcome to today's session on sampling methods. So when we're conducting an experiment and we're trying to think about our population that we want to sample, we need some method of actually being able to select our participants. So the first one that we're going to look at is stratified sampling. So this is taking our entire group, our population, and dividing this into subgroups. So groups within groups. And then randomly, we are going to be selecting people from each of the groups in proportion to other groups within our sample group. So an example of this is households, maybe their ways of watching TV, in which case we could take the households, divide them into subcategories, and then randomly select households for the survey based on which group they were in. Another one that we've got is quota sampling. So this is asking only a certain amount of people in each category. So when we are stood there on a street, like we've got in our example, surveying street where we're stopping people over 60 and asking them the question until we've got enough people within that age group, and then maybe moving on to another age group and asking so many people until we've got that age group full. Random sampling, so this is literally choosing people completely at random. This is a nice way of working straight after you've done, if you've done stratified sampling, because afterwards, once you've selected your participants, you've then got to select these people at random. So random sampling is a great way of doing this. So selecting people completely at random, so things like selecting out of a hat, maybe using a random number generator on a calculator or computer or on a mobile device, and good ways of doing this. So what we're actually saying is that every person has got an equal chance of being selected. And then we've also got systematic sampling. So this means that we are choosing members at regular intervals. So my example is that if we go through a phone book or phone directory, it's selecting every 100th person, and that will take part in our sample. If it was conducting the survey outside, maybe it's waiting for every 10th person to walk into a shop. So there are positives and negatives using each one of these. Stratified sampling is by far the best way to get a full reflection of the population, but unfortunately it is time consuming, and there are limits to the number of variables that we can take into consideration for our experiment. On the quota sampling, it's very easy to manage and to do, but it could also be biased, in which case biasness, when we're talking about experiments, we want to be moving away from any form of biasness to be fair as possible. We've got random sampling, so everyone's got an equal chance, which is great, but at the same time it can be very time consuming also, because having to select people at random, maybe if we was using a random number generator and was giving every person a number, we'd have to be doing a lot of cross-referencing, so this can be quite time consuming. And of course the systematic, it's great because you are unlikely to get a bias sample, because literally people are selected dependent on what time they're there or where they are within the list. But at the same time, it's not completely random, in which case taking the list idea, 100th person on the list, doesn't matter what that person does, there will always be that 100th person on the list, in which case the randomness is taken away, even though you, as the person conducting the experiment, would not be aware that that person is at the 100th. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.